Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. I know I mentioned the last time I did a video that I was going to show you how I was going to do the binding and all that on this journal, but much to my dismay, nobody was very interested. So I am just going to show you the finished product. I finished it, so we'll just do a flip through and talk about a couple of things, and then I will move on to something else because I don't think anybody's very interested in this. Unfortunately, I've only had about probably 14 people that have been interested, and those of you that are, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so happy. So anyway, I finished it. I put that pocket with the needle felting on the front, onto the front of the journal, and I put these little things inside. And so this is one of the things from ARTYmaze kit, and I believe it's called Fall Flourish or Autumn Flourish, but I'll put that down below and the link to her Etsy shop and all that. And so I just layered some fabric. There's a little burlap under there, and then the little seed sign. I put a little, what do you call this, embroidery floss up around there. Tied it around the jar to look like, you know, the jar had a tie on it. Made a little notepad in there. I just hand stitched that on. I liked it, gave it a little more rustic look than the sewing machine does. And then this is the little, one of the like seed packets, I guess you would say, and I just put a couple of index cards that I have coffee stained in there so that you can journal on that as well. I just think they look cute in this pocket, just like that. It does have a rounded spine on it, and sorry, I'm picking out, there's all kinds of little threads and stuff from the gauze and whatever that I used, the cheesecloth that's in there. Okay, and then this is all wool on the outside. It has, what is it, like 66 pages, I believe it is. Sorry, I didn't count that very well, but I'm pretty sure it's 66. So it's about 6.5 wide by 8.5, 6.5 by 8.5. And a lot of that had to do with this pocket, why I chose those measurements. It wasn't anything special, it's just I wanted to make sure it was wide enough for this. And then on the inside, I put burlap pockets, and how I did that was I just had some of this burlap ribbon, and it's got the wire in it, and so I just cut it the length I needed it, and then I took the edge and like folded it this way to make the pocket on either side. I made those, and then I snipped these at a diagonal, kind of like this, so that you know, there wasn't all this bulk, because when you do this there's more bulk right there, and I didn't want all that. So I just made a little pocket there. I put a bunch of ARTYmaze's little things in here. There's her little file folder. Sorry, there's burlap everywhere. It was from cutting it. Just one of her tags. This is another one of her mason jars that I just inked. I may put lines in there. I made a large tag that's backed with coffee stained, that kid lined paper, the kitty paper. And so that all goes in there. This is the paper background. I put fabric because this is not, you can't see the binding, so it's a hidden binding. So those go in there, and I'll show you. I forgot to show you that part. So there's 3 signatures, and this is cheesecloth. And so they're just sewn in on the inside. It's a floating binding or hidden binding, or however you'd say that, because I wanted this rounded back spine, and so that's just hard to sew the signatures into the outside when it's as rounded as that is. So anyways, and then this is the first signature. This is again ARTYmaze's beautiful Fall Flourish paper. I did a little napkin applique on some coffee stain paper. This is one of her little toppers, tabs. And then I just took one of the little flags that come with her kit, and I stuck it under the tab. And then this is one of the little kind of things that she has. I think you could probably, if you didn't want it to open like a little book, you could cut it and glue it together so that it's more like, you know, a tag, but I wanted it to open and close like a book. So but that's just, of course, personal preference. And it's kind of like a little tuck spot, but you know, when you open and close the book, sometimes these kind of things can fall, so I just put a paper clip there. This is more napkin applique. This is from Edith Holden. Sorry, drew a complete blank there for a minute. A little bit of vellum that's printed. These are from a Better Homes and Gardens October 1930 magazine that my sister gifted me. It's just really cool. It had some really neat old pictures and things in it, and it's from, you know, October, November, that time period. So lots of gardening information. These are some little gals that I found on Pinterest, I believe, like a year ago. I don't even know, but I fussy cut them all out, and they just went really well because this is 1930s, like I said, this magazine, so I kind of stuck with that time period. And I put a few leaves. I have this leaf punch, so I just punched out leaves and put a few down there at her feet, and there's a leaf punch. Coffee stain paper, and this is part of that Better Homes and, what is it called? Garden. Is it Better Homes and Gardens? Sorry, I just said that and I can't even remember that long. Better Homes and Gardens, yeah. Okay, so that's part of that. And I put one of the pockets on this side, and here's some of her like tickets, and this is one of her little images from the kit, and her little pocket, ARTYmaze. And then I stamped down here on the kitty paper, and again, I think I told you guys I put the washi tape on here because this paper, when you coffee stain it, it gets kind of weak at the back, and I just didn't want it to rip out really easily. And then I have some Edith Holden paper in here. I just love her paper, and this is middle of the signature, and I think I might punch out some of these leaves and put them on here, but I just didn't get that far yet today, and I wanted to get the video in. Another coffee stained and punched paper, another piece of the Better Homes and Gardens. This is just coffee stained and stamped. ARTYmaze paper, Better Homes and Gardens, pretty black and white tulips, some vellum, another coffee stained lined paper. These papers were graph paper, and they had the holes in them, so you could see the holes at the top, so I just liked putting kind of like dictionary page over that, and a tab on this one, and this says autumnal and autumnal equinox. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. And more ARTYmaze beautiful paper. This is the next signature, and it's all coffee stain. This is some of the washi that I did in that last video. This is part of that Better Homes and Gardens. See how cute it is? It's a little story for kids about Halloween. I thought that was adorable. And then there's old ads, coffee stain paper. This is another needle felted. I just took a piece of wool like this. This was a wool jacket, tweed. And so I just cut a piece off of it, and I needle felted right into it and made that little like tag thing there. And then just put a piece of lace behind it. So. And these little girls are the ones that I got off of Pinterest, the kind of 30s look. And I napkin applique behind this one. This is just a piece of fabric behind her. They're holding like little jack-o'-lantern candy holders or some such thing as that. And there's another punch. And this is off the cover of that Better Homes and Gardens magazine. It said October. And it was just a really pretty like vase full of flowers, and I made an envelope out of it, and I haven't stuck anything in there, but I will. And then this is stamped coffee stain paper. That's that orange kind of, I added a little bit of red and yellow to my coffee, and it kind of gave it that orange look. This says October Notes from a Gardener's Scrapbook. And he is your garden's best friend. And this is coffee stain. This piece of coffee stain paper just turned out so good. This is just one that I did a while back, but it just, the color is just yummy. So I just stamped it down here, and I had folded it when I stained it, so it kind of, you know, has different variations because of the folding. But I just love the way that came out, so. And then Edith Holden again. Beautiful. And ARTYmaze. There's lots of room to journal in this one for sure. I left a lot of journaling spots. This is the other side of that envelope. This is one of ARTYmaze's images. I did the tab at the top. I punched a leaf and put it on the tab and then stuck this little gal on here, and you could like tuck something underneath there. Let's see if I got a piece of paper. Something like this would be cute. And it will stay there. And then Lovely Floors, she's cleaning her floors. I just love these old pictures because of their clothes and everything. I just find it really interesting. This is the other side of that kitty story. It's the children's pleasure chest, and it's got, you know, the jack-o'-lanterns and funny little parts of the jack-o'-lanterns, eyes, nose, mouth. It's just cute. And this is another little tuck spot with one of her tags, and this is a piece of wool, and I just stapled it right there. And a piece of vellum. And ARTYmaze, and then, so this was kind of like September in the beginning, October in the middle, and this is November. And so I did Edith Holden, her big November. This is a piece of the washi that I made last time and just a piece of lace stitched on there. And this is another ARTYmaze, and this is Edith Holden. And I did a little ticket or a tag, and it's stuck on, so it's like a tuck spot. And I did put this just to kind of hold it a little bit better, but this is a piece of wool. This is the same wool that's behind the book right now, the blue wool. And just old music paper and some coffee stain paper in there. And coffee stain and punched. And here's some more ads from that Better Homes and Gardens, and it says, of autumn, sunsets, trees, and leaves. And some more ads. This grape nuts, I don't know why this cracked me up, but this looks so, I don't know, boring or not appetizing at all, in my opinion. But I know, you know, that's just the way their boxes were then, but it's just funny how much things change. It's from the 1930s again. And coffee stain, and this is a piece of vellum, and then this is one of these little tags that you can get. They're just the craft ones. There's round ones and, you know, different shapes. I just took one of these, folded it in half and put it over that hole that was up there, and then I stapled a piece of fall fabric right there just to give some interest out the top of the book. And then I made one of these little envelopes that are for journaling on. This one's a little stiff right now because I just did the napkin applique, and then my sister gifted me this funny little The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin book, and it's a really old one and it's just falling apart, so I didn't feel too awful about using the pictures from it. It's from 1903, so yeah, it's old, and I might add some more of those in there as tags or something. I just didn't get that far and I wanted to get this video out, so there's that. And then just tied some lace at the top of that paper clip. And more Edith Holden, little signature. And this says fall on this piece of dictionary page, and then another piece of fabric stapled up there. And vellum. And then this is just coffee stain paper. And this is another page out of that book, and I left the whole page of the book. I just thought it was cute, and it has the old library stamp on it and all that, so it was interesting. This is just a card that I coffee stained. It's still a little wonky, but after it sits in the book for a while, and I just put a piece of that washi I made on the back of it, because you could just snip that off and, you know, actually use the card, but it also makes kind of a good pocket on this Better Homes and Gardens page. So that page didn't have as neat of pictures as some of the other. I mean, the house is neat, but I don't know. And so there's the back of that. And coffee stained paper. I really love, I'm loving the way this came out. And you can see these are like leaf, you know, things about autumn, like crafts you could do or whatever. And then coffee stained paper, Edith Holden. I love those birds. And then ARTYmaze. And then in the back here with another one of the burlap pockets, I have a little book that I made. There's a little tuck spot right there. This is all ARTYmaze. This La Vive Parisian, I love those old magazine covers, and so I print those whenever I find them. So they were just in my stash, and then this is Graphic 45 Pumpkin. And then in here we have more of the little tags. These little mason jars are just adorable that come with that kit. And again, you could like glue it together or, you know, cut it apart or whatever and glue it and just have it as a tag, but I kind of liked it as a little book. And then some tags to journal on, and then this is another piece of really old music paper that's just falling apart, so I try not to mess with it too much, but it just looks kind of neat in there. And then I just stitched some of my coffee stain paper on there. And the back is cool because it has lines too, so another journaling spot. And that goes in there, and the back of the book. So, sorry about all the fuzz that's stuck to it. Unfortunately, with the wool, that kind of is part of the package with it. It attracts all kinds of stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that flip through. I love the way the book came out, and I love that paper by ARTYmaze. So, like I said, if you're making anything for fall, I would definitely check out her paper because it's beautiful. And I'm very pleased with the way this came out. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if you have questions about how I did anything, please ask. But I know there's a million people that have done the bindings and all that, those kind of things. So it's not like it's real news. But if you do have questions, I'd be happy to ask or answer any of them. So have a great day. Please subscribe.